Once Photoshop opens, you'll need to open the image in which you want to work. To do this, click on the folder the image is in. It should be your Google Drive folder for the class you are taking. However, here you can see the student downloading an image from a Canvas class. Right-clicking on the image will allow you to download it. You can also click on the 3 dots immediately under the waffle that gives you the choice between Drive, Gmail, and other options. Your image will most likely go to the Downloads folder, which should bounce to let you know where the image went. To get the image in Photoshop, you will need to go to the Downloads folder. Click on the icon once, and then click on the arrow to open the Finder window to get access to the image. If Photoshop is already open, you should be able to drag your image into Photoshop. You can also right-click on the image icon, then a window will pop open and you can scroll down to the word Open With and then Adobe Photoshop. You will have to wait for the program to open the image. Once your image is open in Photoshop, it should look something like this. Next, you will need to make a duplicate layer of the background. Do this by right-clicking on the background layer. Relabel the layer BW as we will make it black and white. Often it is easier to see value shifts in black and white. To make the change, drag the cursor up to the word Image on the taskbar at the top. After clicking on Image, click on Adjustments and then scroll down to black and white. You can toggle each color on your image to see if there are changes, but here the student just selected OK. Next, go to the image again and look at the image size. For this, go to Image again on the taskbar and select Image Size this time. A window will pop up showing you how large your image is. In order to print easily, we will change the image here to 11 in the largest size orientation. Here it is the width, but your image may be different. Once that is done, press the Tab button on the keyboard until the resolution is selected and type 300 there. You are making this image large enough to manipulate so it won't pixelate when we print or try to do other tasks in Photoshop. Once this is done, you may have to recenter the image as the size may be larger or smaller than you started with. To do this, you need to use the Command or Apple key and the plus or minus sign to make the image fit the screen. You may also need to use the scroll bars to recenter. Then, make another duplicate layer by right-clicking on the BW layer, this time calling the layer Outlines. Now you will have to go to the word Filter on the taskbar. Before you use filters, please understand that the filter on the top is the last filter used. This is an operational error Adobe created because it confuses students. We will always go to the filter gallery that is fourth from the top. Once you click on Filter Gallery and it opens, click on the folder that says Sketch. Then click on Photocopy Filter. This will make your drawing an outlined version so you can see the shapes and lines in the image. You may want to toggle the darkness and detail until you feel like you can see all the shapes, then select OK. After this filter is created, turn the eyeball of the outlines layer off and make another duplicate copy of the black and white layer, this time labeling it Cutout. Then go to the filter gallery again, remember the fourth one down. When the gallery opens, the photocopy filter will be selected, but you can change it. Go to the artistic folder at the top and select Cutout from that folder. It should be the top middle. Once selected, press the Tab key on your keyboard so you can toggle the number of layers you see. This video shows you deleting and adding different numbers so you can see the differences that happen when you select different numbers in the Cutout filter. You can also use the triangle toggle underneath if you prefer. You can then print your image if you are only drawing in black and white. Go to the word File on the taskbar and select Print from the menu that drops down. You can also use the hotkeys of Command and P to make this process faster. When you are in the print queue, make sure to select Art Color Printer in the printer choice at the top. Then make sure your image is oriented correctly. You can adjust horizontal and vertical. Then use the scroll bar to make the image scaled to fit the media selected. When a warning screen pops up telling you that the colors printed will be different than what you see on the screen, just select the Don't Show checkbox and say OK. The next window that pops up is a printer window that is talking to the Photoshop program. Select Print again and you should hear the printer start to print your image. While you are waiting for your print, you could create a new layer to see what a monochromatic color scheme would look like over your image, because you might want to work that way. To do that, right-click on the 3 lines above the Layers window you are working from and select New Layer. Then relabel the new layer the color you are going to use. Here the student selected blue. Not only did the student label the layer, but they also selected a medium blue from the color picker tool in Photoshop. Then go to the word Edit on the taskbar and select Fill in the drop-down menu. When the window opens, you will select Foreground Color, since that is where the color is this time, and then select 70% and press OK. The screen should fill with blue that is transparent enough for you to see your image. Now go above the Layers panel where you can see the word Normal and select Multiply. At this point, you should be able to see the image with contrast and the monochromatic color. I suggest you print this image as well. If the image prints too dark, you may need to brighten it by going again to the Image section of the taskbar. You can adjust the brightness and contrast until the print is at a value level you can see. This may take a few prints and adjustments. If you are struggling with this, ask your instructor for help. Once you have finished printing, save the file with your name and the assignment unit so it's easy to find if you need it again. While you could save in the cloud, it is suggested that you save the image as a PSD file and put it in your class folder in order to obtain more help from the teacher if needed. Sometimes this can be used to check your work by projecting the image onto your paper to see if your proportions are correct. You can also take these printed images and use a transparency sheet to figure out where there may be mistakes in the shapes you drew. This video shows the mistakes in how outlines were drawn for a portrait, specifically in the width of the face and in some of the shapes in the hair. However, this method can be used for any drawing and is part of the reason we use Photoshop to learn to draw both outlines and value. You can also take screenshots of these layers by pressing Shift, Command, and the number 4. I recommend taking screenshots of all the layers and putting them in your class folder so that you have an image on your Chromebook in case you lose the paper, your dog ate it, etc. Once you drag all the screenshots and PSD file in your class folder and have printed what you need, you can log out of Adobe and then out of the computer and start drawing or painting. Have fun!